So welcome to our podcast, The Tale of Two Hoods. And I'm sorry, I didn't...
My name's Cas.
Cas?
Keyboard producer.
And then, I was checking some of your Instagram out, and I seen that you did a lot of work with big names and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I want to congratulate you on that, man.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've been lucky. I was lucky. I was discovered by Mac Miller's people right before I graduated conservatory. I've been doing music my whole entire life. My father is legend. Yeah, my father it turns out my great grandfather from like 1918 had an orchestra in Lithuania before the pogroms, before the Holocaust had destroyed my race. But anyways, we're here.
Yeah.
So
that's just crazy alone too.
Yeah,
like,
that is very
world history and stuff.
So
you don't hear about that in music a lot either.
Well, and I didn't even. Turns out that I wasn't. I didn't. We knew that we had. I knew I got into it because my father and my grandfather were musicians, but my father's a failed musician, but he got me into music early, and he always told me that our family were musicians, and not until recently I went to Spotify and I found my great uncle.
That's
cool.
Who
actually worked with like Tchaikovsky, like.
That's crazy.
So it's just generations.
Well, it skipped like 3-4 generations, but I mean now with my rise in the game and whatnot, it's
the gene had to be awakened.
Yeah, for sure, and and hopefully, and fight for against persecution and nationalism and racism and all the evilness that people.
Unfortunately,
because people lack faith, because it's the reality. But
yeah,
that's really cool, man. But
yeah.
So I like the way you play your pianos and all that stuff. I like
the
music you've been doing lately too. That's really good. I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ever have like a live show, you definitely got to let us know.
For sure. January 26th. I'm playing next Wednesday. I'm playing at this place called the Bitcoin Center on 86th Street. We good?
Yep.
Yeah, 86th Street. I play with a live jam session. It's really real dope. But yeah, man, I'm classically trained. I mean, I got into music early, and I went into like classical, then I got into jazz, and then I moved on from jazz to Broadway. Played in indie rock bands, but I was always, I heard Dre and Eminem, so it's like at 10 years old, and I was like, and my father was a big Wu-Tang fan back then in '94, so.
Yeah.
It's like it just transitioned, and then I went to college for musicology because I liked all the styles, so couldn't decide which one, and I got more aware about like world music, and then right before I graduated I got a call from Mac Miller, who came up. Mac Miller's people came up to scout this rapper who I was working with. They liked me. They didn't give the rapper a call, and then eventually I would get a year afterwards. I got a call from Bronson and Statik.
That's really awesome.
So I got to make some classics with them, and this is 2011. I played on the Well Done record with Action Bronson, and saw Joey Badass's success in 2012. So it was on the 1999 mixtape. Played on the Legendary record with J. Cole. It's all coming from it because music is spiritual. It's all related.
You're breaking through that barrier.
Exactly, and that's what's the most beautiful thing. It doesn't matter. you know, where you come from. It's just the beauty of music. I feel like just connects everybody together, you know.
It doesn't matter the race when it comes to music.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that and salsa.
The real question: how did you go from classical to hip hop?
Well, classical to jazz.
To jazz and
jazz
like
and
that?
jazz.
So explain that transition.
For sure.
and
Yeah, for
everything.
sure. I mean, I heard Gershwin when I was like,
you know, a lot of days it's just people sample. Now I feel like it's sampling on like the history of music, the actual instrumental playing and art is lost.
Well, I think it's. I mean, look. I mean, the tools are at your fingertips. You know. I mean.
Live in studio. Let's go.
I mean, it's so important, and then classical music is really the foundation that leads into jazz, which leads into to hip hop. You know.
Was piano something that you was always into?
Yeah, well, yeah, that was one that, I mean, again, my father got me in. My father is a failed musician. He's a successful artist person. He actually has a really successful underground film magazine where he specializes in experimental film people and editors, and he actually even worked with Cameo. Really cool in the 80s. Okay. So
that's really
got me, really cool. But he got me into it really early, you know, because again, his father as well. My grandfather was another failed musician and became a doctor, but it's just really important. So they got me into it very early. By 3.5, I was taking piano lessons. There's a local music school on the East Village where I grew up on 11th Street. So I took advantage of that, you know, and I went classical to jazz. They're very, very similar.
Similar. It wasn't much of a difference.
It was not much of a difference. And, you know, Gershwin is really classical jazz and Broadway and hip-hop realistically all in one. You know, it's folk opera. You know, it's stories.
Is piano the only thing you know?
I played other, I played drums a little bit and bass a little bit, but I mean, it's...
You want a beer, Cas?
No, I'm fine. Thank you. I appreciate that.
We got more water, too.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. But yeah, piano was really, drums as well and bass. Guitar hurt my fingers, so I never. But I mean, I kind of got it. I played with bands with people, so, you know, so nice.
So let's go back to the Action Bronson. How was that working with that?
Oh, it was incredible. Really incredible opportunity. The third record I did was off this called Time for Some Action. It was lucky. I got the call from Statik. I mean, I came in the first day, I replayed a sample, and he gave me a call back the next day. And the second day, he was pulling up different samples, and he pulled up the sample for the horn, for Time for Some Action. And I was like, let me play some keys on that. And, you know, and then, then we laid the beat down in 20 minutes. Action Bronson came directly afterwards. Nice. And he laid the verse. It's it's so fast.
It was right there, yeah.
So, and then, you know, he was really impressed by, you know, for that. So I ended up getting a couple of different cuts on that record. And, you know, so it was really cool to just be, this is when Action broke his leg. He just put out Dr. Lecter. So, a lot of people not, early. Unless you're really into the underground of the underground New York City world, and it's and really, you know, there was a point, I feel like in 2010, I come from a jazz perspective, in the 26, 2010, there was lack of jazz. There was soul, but it wasn't what it was. It wasn't jazz inspired. And then if you listen to the music of the 90s, and it's the classic foundations for this music, the Illmatic, the, you know, Ready to Die, Gurus, the Jazzman Taz, all the classic hip hop stuff. It's all about jazz foundations. Yeah. So that's how classical music and jazz and then hip hop are related, because it's all coming from the same place.
Like the grandfather on it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't have one without the other, realistically. And they're
foundation of it.
And they're so inspiring to each other, you know. And now I'm getting more into musical theater again, and it's it's the stories. You know, there's so many similarities between, I think, hip hop and musical theater than, you know, and jazz as well. So it's I'm trying to, hopefully, I would really like to see Broadway have a hip hop, real hip hop, not Hamilton. That was a great idea, but it was.
You gotta start somewhere too.
And yes, for sure. And that world is so traditional, but it's so needed.
Yeah, no, it needs to break out. It needs to expand, and it reminds me of sports Broadway. It's sure. We're gonna stick to the old school. We're gonna stick what kept us here, and it's that's fading with ability to stream now and just technology and the fact I could watch like whatever I want in the palm of my hand.
Exactly. I mean, look at the rise of Versus. Look at the rise of Thriller. Like, I mean, if anything,
Barstool Sports, we could keep going.
Barstool's. I mean, it's still. I mean, and now with the betting, I mean, you know, I can bet directly. I mean, the Caesar shit. So it's like, I mean, if you anything, it's like these models have to change if they're going to survive. Like, I mean, it's like, and Broadway, you know, telling stories. Broadway's all about that. You know, and just, I mean. I just think the next transition is to see more unity between the jazz world, the Broadway world, and the hip hop world. Yeah. I mean, not only from my own perspective, I mean, you take a little bit of both and all three, combining them, but just for like, I think for society, you know, because there's so much to learn from each of them, and they shouldn't be segregated. They shouldn't be separated. And I feel like I go to the jam sessions, the jazz guys, and they don't have no hip hop. I go to the hip hop sessions, and they're open to it all, but it's like.
But are they open to it all?
I mean, it's. I'm waiting. I mean, I bet you. I mean, I asked. I didn't ask Action directly. I was able to show my beats. I have some placements with Styles being the Locks and.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you really are in like the upper echelons dealing
got lucky.
with.
Got really lucky.
You got to prepare for the opportunity. You don't know when it's coming.
But you have to know how to execute.
Yeah.
If you can't be able to do like.
No, you worked hard for it. So when the opportunity came, you knew everything you had to do, which is
you know, for sure. And just being there, coming to the right places, and half of it is just showing up.
Half of it.
It's like that's the other. Like I mean, it's
clock in.
I mean, you just have to, you know. I mean, just like anything else. I mean, it's like you want to, you know, you don't want to be disrespectful. Like I mean, if somebody gives you a call, what are you gonna do? So you say no? Like
I'm busy.
Yeah, right.
Like
I gotta beat this level in Tokyo.
like I mean, waste your time. And I'm a big gamer. Like I mean. But it's like, in the end of the day, it's like, I mean, you don't want to be disrespectful. Like,
no, of course not, especially if somebody's giving you an opportunity.
Exactly.
Scarface said it the best way.
Exactly.
You got two things in this world.
Yeah, or even Eminem, one shot. And one shot, you got it or you don't. It's like, I mean, you know, I grew up on it. I mean, 10 years old when the Marshall Mathers LP came out. It changed my whole entire life. I mean, it's like, that's what I wanted to do. So, I mean, you know, by 10 years old. And I mean, I know. I mean, it's pretty, I mean, but again, it's now taking that to the next level. And it's like, you know, and seeing where, you know, how to be able to combine my love for hip hop and jazz and Broadway.
And put them all together.
Yeah. And I have a new placement in an upcoming Broadway Disney show coming out. And it's really dope.
Speak on that? Like,
a little bit.
Can you? I know how.
I can't. No, it's really, really cool. They already published the song, and they already made a really incredible video. It's for their new thing, Zombies 3. I can talk. It's called Zombies 3. This is their Zombies is like one of their up and coming Mickey Mouse Club things.
Oh, all right.
So it's like they discover like different talented people and put them together and find songwriters. And I got I got lucky.
I think I know what the concept.
And they have. It's. I mean, but it's actually not really. It's not corny. Actually, it's done really, really well. I mean, some of the lyrical concept might be a little, but they have hip hop, they have jazz, they have pop, they have it all, and I got really lucky. I won a songwriting competition last year with New York Top Liners right before the COVID breakdown for one of my own songs. So I was able to kind of leverage that as well as my success in the hip hop world for an opportunity that I got in with the director. So I mean,
you were prepared and your opportunity came.
Well, I was persistent. You know, if you have quality, I mean, that's what I say to people. It's like you have to have quality first. You have to make a lot of it, quantity. And you have to stay consistent, and then you have to stay persistent about it. So it's like nowadays, I think there's more tools than ever from the Instagram, from the, you know.
You have a lot more opportunities now to get your stuff
out. I mean, look at SoundCloud, Spotify, like just
Instagram. Like, I mean, look, I mean, it's even, I mean, even from doing this, it's like, you know, how many people.
Oh, you're live streaming. Yeah, let's go.
Like, I mean, it's like, shout live. Yeah, for sure, if you want to. But again, it's like the opportunity to connect yourself out there.
I got your Instagram.
It's simple. It's Cas Keyboard Producer.
So let's talk about the Broadway. What else did you do on Broadway before?
Well, I got a song placed in the upcoming musical, so it's like.
So this is your first one that's coming out on Broadway.
But this is my first. I mean, they shot a video to it. It's my first introduction to that world, and I already started working with one of the songwriters. She's asked me to like do some other stuff, but I mean, again, it's like getting myself in.
Yeah.
Because it's like once you have a, you know, the way I see it, once they know who you are, once you're able to be successful. One of the songwriters, she's asked me. All right. Anyways, delay, but yeah, once you get in with this, it's like I could be able to utilize hopefully all my connections for the better. You know, the hip hop, the jazz guys, and unite them under. Like, I mean, I would love to see like a big band with 20 jazz guys. You know, big band Frank Sinatra do a tribute to hip hop.
Yeah.
I think it's actually needed. because I mean, hearing the same standards again from 100
yeah.
years old. I mean, it's great to see what people can do.
Yeah.
But again, it's not doing anything new.
Right.
Yeah, it's just
And with the
adding their own
rise of the
flavor
hip
to it,
hop, it's
yeah.
like, why shouldn't there be a crossover between again? It's
Yeah,
like
I would love to have a
I'll just,
Rat
like,
Pack
big
style,
band. Like
big
I mean,
band. I need more horns in my hip hop.
But I mean, there was Frankie. I mean, I love the Biggie Blue Eyes. That was like one of my.
I was
I
telling him about that big, like Bed-Stuy Blue Eyes or something.
Biggie Blue Eyes, where I forgot the producer, but he was able. It was Danger Mouse. No, I think it was Danger Mouse because they did the Gray album, taking the Beatles and Jay-Z, and then they did the Biggie Blue Eyes where they took Frank Sinatra and Biggie Smalls together.
Yeah.
That was fine.
And it's like
together.
and created. I mean, that was one of my favorite albums because I love jazz and I love Biggie Smalls. So it's like
both in one.
and it's
All
like
in one,
and it's all in one, and it's like, I mean, Guru's Jazzmatazz and Primo and Nas and I mean it's. But again, it's like I would love to hear Nas perform with more. I mean, he has performed with an orchestra at the JFK Center, but I mean, I would like to see that more. And that's Nas, of course.
More root style with
I mean,
a live band.
With verses doing it with the live orchestra, or even taking that whole entire concept and moving that to Broadway, like taking Broadway musical and then people will go to the Broadway theater. Like
that would be fire.
Like
Broadway
I was thinking,
battle.
when you said like hip hop and Broadway, I'm thinking more of like, like that old '90s stuff. You know what I mean?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
I mean, it's all relatable.
Yeah.
It's all. I mean, that's what I want to. I mean, I think now it's 2022. It's like we shouldn't be as. The world shouldn't be divided. They're all coming from the same place.
Yeah, basically.
So
politics
I got
is-
a question
yeah,
for you.
yeah,
So when
for
you
sure.
decide to make a beat,
Yeah.
do you picture it being played by an orchestra as well?
Depends. I mean, that's definitely a big influence on my sound. I mean, whether it is Nelson Riddle or Count Basie or Duke Ellington or whatever, or Gershwin. I think it's always important sound, but it's also I love the simplicity of Primo. Like I love the simplicity of about the
boom
beds
bap.
that's set up for the rappers, because it's not about, you see, the beauty of hip hop is it's about everything together. It's not just about, it's not about how much you can play over a bebop scale. There's no really place for that, and there is, but it has to be tasteful. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like I'm influenced by it all, and the reason why I still gratified towards hip hop is that it gives me the best bed to do that. It doesn't limit myself. It's like it's all about being myself.
Yeah.
It's not like I can't combine it, and it's like it just makes me actually appreciate the music even more. Do more research about the samples, do more research about like the soul samples, and finding ways of utilizing different samples, songs differently, and it's like, and combining it together. So yeah, I mean, I don't really picture it with a band. I think it's everything is specific, but I mean, I mean, it's definitely influential for my sound.
Okay.
So what's your main instrument of choice and stuff? You know how a lot of but you know how a
It's
lot
in his
of
name. It's in his name.
but when you're making a beat and stuff, how it's usually it's
sure.
it's ran off the drum line more or less to say.
Yeah, I mean, depends on what people will give me. I mean, it's depends on how if somebody collabs, asks me to do a collab beat or remix things, or I find that I mean sometimes or I'm in the studio, somebody wants me to set up some chords. It's always coming from the keys, So I mean, or a sample or something else, but it's still so driven off the keys rather than I don't
Can you
use
play
FBC.
something for us?
Yeah, what do you want to hear?
Any Beethoven, Mr. Classical? Oh, look at that. So clean.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. I was looking through your Instagram, and the way you play the piano is it's crazy.
That shit is very.
He's really, it's very clean, very, very talented.
And now add the drums, and you have I Know I Can.
Yeah. I mean,
bravo.
Yeah,
That was
it's
beautiful.
really nice.
I appreciate
It's
that.
really good.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming
Yeah,
in
for
with
sure,
this,
man. But I mean, classical is it's the foundation.
Yeah.
But that was written 200 years ago.
Which
Now
is insane. Insane.
because they didn't have this keyboard fits into my
Your book bag.
my bag.
Yeah,
like-
imagine if Mozart saw that.
I mean, imagine if Mozart was alive. I mean, what would he be doing? I always think about what Gershwin would be doing, and that's the reason why it's like I'm going that Broadway world. Like Porgy and Bess is still some foundational. I saw it both on Broadway and at the opera. Yo, the guy's making so much money, even from all the people who is plus the countless versions of the songs from Miles Davis to Ella Fitzgerald to like, you know, classics.
Oh yeah.
To be even people doing it now, it's so foundational. I mean, if people really want to learn how to sing, that's it's challenging stuff to learn. But yeah, man. I mean, that's what I'm thinking about. You know what I mean? So I mean, when I'm doing the music, I mean, it's.
So back to you and your music, you got the show coming up the 28th, which
26th.
is 26th, which is
Wednesday,
2 weeks about, or
yeah, it should be coming. Yeah. Not
So
this week. Yeah, it's the
can you
next
speak
week.
more on that too? Or
Yeah,
no?
well, I play with a live band every Wednesday. It was kind of put off for a couple weeks, but now we're restarting it. So it's really cool. They have a bunch of salsa guys. We're playing salsa and jam and play with singers and, you know, freestyle rappers, and it's pretty cool.
So is it like a venue? Is it?
Yeah, it's a venue on
Okay.
86th Street. It's like a converted storefront. So
A little stage, you guys go up there.
yeah, well, I mean, I just come in. It's based off a jam session kind of concept. So if you know the song, you play the song.
Hop in if you know
Yeah.
what you're
It's
doing.
like, I mean, they also run
Pick
this
up.
jam session on Mondays at the Shrine as well. So it's like
the pickup music concert.
Yeah,
Let's go.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's really where music started. Like, I mean, that's in jazz world, that's where it started. If you could play, you could, you know, they'll give you. An
Oh yeah,
opportunity.
back in the what they
The
call the
50s,
club?
I mean, the Conan Club.
Yeah.
I mean, Milton's Playhouse, where like Bird and, you know, and jazz and
Everybody
bebop and
smoking
Thelonious,
cigarettes.
Thelonious Monk and Bud Powell playing. Like that was the 40s. It's just, you know, it's, I mean,
That's
now
the way it was.
that's
Now
the
it's
beginning of
COVID.
jazz.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
now
no. I mean, it's beyond. I mean, it's, and you know, if you go to like Smalls, there's still people who play that specific kind of music. I mean, I just, again, I don't like. I try to like, with my success with, you know, with Joey and, you know, J. Cole, I tried to explain to them that it's like, or not even explain to them. I wanted to see if like how I could be able to inspire them to like try and get how to get some hip hop within that.
Yeah. No, that.
And they kind of brushed me off, which unfortunately, but that's the reason why.
But their minds are somewhere else too.
Well,
so.
that's where, I mean, the
Like
money
you-
pays, so that's
like
why I'm
you-
going to Broadway. So it's like, I mean, you can't really
Yeah.
turn down a, you know,
Hey, every
you can't turn down
outlet
you
has
can't
a
tell
source.
you can't turn down a job.
No,
I mean,
it's
you know,
like it's too, man. You got to put in that work and say
Yeah.
if you're consistent with them about it,
yeah,
you know,
for
eventually
sure.
they'll be like, you know what, let's just do something real fast.
Or you
Right.
just put proof, you know. You,
Yeah,
like
like
you
that
say,
too.
go to Broadway, it hits there. They're
I
like,
mean-
yo, hey, remember
I
that
mean-
You
conversation?
can start,
I
you
mean,
can
even
start a
with
whole
them-
new wave.
Even with my own success regarding the records that we did 46 million.
That's crazy.
great.
Like the jazz guys are not doing anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the good ones are doing maybe 400,000.
Yeah.
That's nothing. Like if they
It's
really
nothing.
want to, like, I mean, it's like
That's not
maybe
even
they
a
have
city in
maybe they have like
America.
maybe they have like really great trust funds, and maybe that's the reason why
Yeah.
they're like, you know, that's why they're really like they're so conservative regarding the music. But I'm like, you know what, it's Miles Davis didn't have this attitude.
No, of course not.
He did every single style, and he
Yeah.
did, and
Oh, Miles was a god though.
I mean, he worked with
was-
Easy Mo B before he died. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's, he worked with Nas's producer. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Easy Mo B, like, produced for Nas and Big, like, and Pac, you know? I mean, he's super trill. Like, there is something to learn from that. Like, I feel like the arrogance and the ego that the jazz guys have sometimes, or their conservative attitude is wrong.
No, I understand. They got that old like, oh, we started it.
But
We should just have the
playing your-
respect.
But I mean, and there is the argument. I mean, if
People-
you're playing music that's coming out from African American society and the history, I
But
mean, it's
people-
like,
a lot of people are afraid of change. That's what the problem
no,
is.
I
too,
mean,
you know?
that's why Miles left.
Yeah.
Like that's why guys left. I mean, I love the music. That's why I utilized it
Yeah.
the way that I did. I mean, I wanted to play jazz gigs. I was at jazz school. I did the jazz thing, but I got to college with Mac Miller, who was very influenced by jazz. So it's like I was able to get on with the guys who appreciated the jazz music.
Yeah. No,
You know?
that's how it is. You
Yeah,
work
it is.
hard, and whoever appreciates you will come to you.
Yeah, exactly. You put greatness out there, and that's why it's like when I first heard Action's Dr. Lecter, I was like, this guy. I mean, he sampled Dizzy Gillespie's that's Night in Tunisia. You know, I mean, he knew what was going on.
Yeah. No, me personally, I love Static too.
Yeah, Statik
Selektah,
too.
oh,
Yeah,
he's
for
so-
sure.
Yeah, he's
The
fine.
way he just builds it and I
Yeah.
follow him on Instagram. I hope
Yeah.
he follows my live back.
I'll tell him to. I mean, he's a really troll.
Oh no, he looks like such a
Yeah,
sweet,
yeah.
humble guy.
Well, I mean, I don't know about the humility, but I mean, he could work on that. But I mean, he's a legend. But I like the fact that he does appreciate jazz music, but he's still such a hardcore hip hop dedicated person. And I feel like there's just something to learn about how you're like somebody so dedicated to something,
culture.
you know, it's culture, it's
The
the
art,
music,
yeah.
the whole entire thing. He's not switching up and making like some pop shit or,
Some mumble rap.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, even trap
Boom,
shit.
boom,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Boom,
no.
boom.
Yeah, just some anybody can
This
make
is
it beat
fire.
up. Yeah.
Or like, what's his face? We the best.
Oh, DJ
Yeah,
Khaled.
I mean, which is, I mean, but I mean, you know, they have different attitudes. You know, it's
Mhm.
like, I mean, Static Worships is premier. Like, and then Khaled has always been making hip hop records for the last 20 years, 30
Yeah,
years now.
He gets the rights to some exclusive songs. Like, yo,
Sure.
come sit
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's about really about what you're doing, how you're finding your niche, you know, to it. You know, it's like everybody's doing it. What makes you different? Like, I mean, for me, it's my, you know, maybe my versatility or maybe my love for all of these genres and trying to combine them together. But I know that's my right. You know,
Yeah.
that's where I see guys like, you know, even like the legends not doing what I'm doing. But that's why I know I'm on the right path. Because if somebody did what I already did, I mean, why would I be doing it?
Exactly.
You're being innovative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm so like passionate regarding every single thing and want to make sure, you know.
You're creating your own lane.
Yeah,
That's all it's all
for
it
sure.
is.
Utilizing the strengths and the, you know, utilizing the successes that I had in all three worlds, and
Yeah.
hopefully hopefully being part of a, you know, a big band tribute to hip hop, like,
Oh, that would be
Yeah, that
fire.
would be fire.
like, you know, and realistically making like something like, you know, and really, you know, encouraging people to like love like bebop and or research the, you know, what harmony from the jazz guys are, you know, and
Yeah, or have like a throwback doo-wop
Yeah.
4-piece singer group and stuff.
or even have more live musicians with the acts
like
as well.
Ink Spot era back.
Like, or even with the festivals, like seeing if they can have you know, I mean, have more bands and things, you know, it's like,
Me and King David, before we got back into the podcast, and we tried
Yeah.
to put a punk hip hop show, like punk rock
Yeah,
hip
with a
hop
live band.
fusion. Yeah.
yeah,
I thought, I mean, they're almost both anarchistic, against society.
yeah,
kinda.
very similar.
I feel, and then,
Very similar. I mean,
and the couple of artists we found have a very punk feel to their music. You know,
Yeah.
like crunkness
for
to
sure,
it.
for sure. No, I know
Yeah,
it's very similar.
but-
I mean, look, Public Enemy. I mean,
Mm.
I mean, between Public Enemies and you know, when they started up and Run DMC, like, I mean, punk music was very, I mean, especially Public Enemy.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I love punk music.
and Anthrax.
Down
It's
with
like,
the system.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it was the same kind of energy. Anthrax or, I mean, the Ramones. It's like those
Oh,
2
yeah,
minute
that's
songs.
classic, yeah.
I mean, I think some of it's a little. I mean, metal. I don't
Oh,
do
you don't
anything.
like
Metal-
thrash metal or whatever it's called?
I mean, I
Thrash?
respect it. I mean, just I make music for God and spirituality and like, you know, good vibes. Like, I don't really want to hear some guy screaming and talking about Satan. Like, I'm really not into that. Like, you know, it's like, and then you go to I mean, you know, so it's all good.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, but you know, I mean, that's one thing I don't not interested in. But you know, I mean, it's. You know, I mean, again, it's like, you know, I know where I'm going. You know, I just want to inspire, you know, hopefully inspire people
People to get
to,
onto your board or whatever, trying to do what you're trying to handle.
yeah, for sure, and just, you know, to tell, you know, it's not, it's a marathon.
Of course not. You got to put in that work, man. You
And
got to
yeah,
be
I
out
mean-
there.
You know, I mean, you have to. I mean, that's why you have to stay persistent. You know, I mean, you know, if you really love doing this, you know, you're gonna
You're gonna
make.
continue doing good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there are some sacrifices you have to make. I mean, it's like, but I mean, again, it's like, I mean, that's life, though. You know, it's like if you want to pursue your dreams, you might have to sacrifice some things.
Or you could just get the 9 to 5 and press play on the road trip
Yeah.
back and forth home to
Listen-
work.
listen-
And that's one way of doing it as well. I mean, but it's still, it's like, I mean, you still have to, even after the day after the 9 to 5, you have to go and do the 6 to 11.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I
that's
had
how
that
I am.
job, yeah, for sure.
you gotta survive.
I mean, it's like I've done that before as well. I mean, and
I'm all about following your dreams.
yeah. I mean, you're already sacrificing the fact that you know that it's gonna take this, and you're putting in those work. You know, you're putting in those hours. It's not rocket science,
No,
realistically.
definitely not.
It's like, I mean, there's also so many resources now online that, you know, I do a lot of like sync stuff and TV stuff and find deals with their different resources as well. I just did one for Metapop that they hosted one for our contest with Illmind. They did one with Frank Dukes the week before. So Skio Music, which hosts remix contests. There's a bunch of them.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm always trying to find a reason to make the music rather than just make music, you know. So
yeah,
it's,
just making beats and having a library of 40,000. It's like, I got all this.
I mean, like, I love making beats as well, but it's like, and I mean, sometimes, you know, I mean, when I have time, I love to make a beat, but it's like I'd rather put my time into doing something productive. Like,
Yeah,
not,
I totally know what you mean.
it's like not using my, not allowing my talent to be wasted, you know, in a sense. So
besides the
Broadway and all that.
yeah,
Broadway that you working on, do you have any projects you're currently running, or would you like to speak on?
Yeah, for sure. No, I got. I'm very lucky that I actually have a label, 60 Beats, where we have single relationships with a bunch of 20 different artists. So I'm releasing singles. We just did a single with my guy Slangman. We got some traffic on the Instagram from that.
Oh, that's nice. Congrats.
Yeah, so I have his. I have a project with him. He's only one of the 20 artists. So I'm putting out singles with all the different artists that I'm working with as well. I've already put one. I work with a church as well. I'm down in Atlanta, and it's like it's a really incredible message that they have. Very similar to Kanye, to the Sunday service. I mean, Kanye is obviously a huge influence.
Yeah, Kanye's a way different person.
Kanye to me is
society,
one of the greatest.
I mean, I think he's probably one of the greatest musicians in the last 20 years, actually. Yeah. As Miles was. I think he's actually at that level.
All right, so give us your top 5 right now, all time, no matter
all time,
genre.
Of all time.
Hip hop, jazz.
George Gershwin. George Gershwin is definitely number 1. Miles Davis, number 2. And my Herbie Hancock, because Miles is, of the sound and everything. So.
Yeah, bands,
Dr.
you
Dre,
can throw bands in. It doesn't have to just be individual.
Yeah. Dr. Dre, for sure, and Eminem. That's. So
Eminem
inspiring.
as a producer.
Eminem as
who he is.
Especially Action Bronson was signed to Paul Rosenberg, so it's like that was one of the coolest meetings. But I was so close from meeting him; it was almost my child dream coming true.
Crazy. I heard he's a hard cat to have any contact.
Yeah,
with.
I
He's about the craft. He's like, if you
no, for sure. Action Bronson was signed to Paul Rosenberg when I worked
really?
recently. But then he kind of, he's not working with him anymore.
I thought he was trying to go independent or something.
Yeah, he's he likes doing things his own way.
Yeah, he was a chef before he was a rapper.
He's a chef. Now he's
the guy
now
is
he's
like
a
wants to do it.
bodybuilder. Now he's into eating.
He's a podcaster.
Yeah,
TV
for
host.
sure. Yeah,
Go get it, Action.
Yeah, for sure. And then the top 5. I have to say Jay-Z's.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's Jay-Z.
Again, another one of these people.
He changed the rap game.
But also he changed the game. If I want to be doing musical jazz and hip hop, that's basically my reference.
He came out with using Indian, from India.
Yeah, for sure.
Influence. Instruments you wouldn't think. He was using techno beats when it wasn't considered cool in hip hop and all that.
He's also what he's done for the culture. What he's still doing.
My favorite song is the one where the Takeover, where he just takes the lyrics out and just raps over their beat.
For sure. No, the Gray album, the Black album, and the White album, and it's the Gray album. I thought Danger Mouse did a really dope job with that. The point is what opportunities he created out of it. And why he was so how he made it work for him. Yeah. And that's what kind of confidence you really need in this world.
He put in that motherfucking work.
But it's not even that, but it's just if I want to make a Broadway hip hop play, with jazz guys, that's
you're gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. Why? Show me what you got. It's either you're gonna
do exactly.
So let's talk about how you come across Joey Badass.
Joey Badass.
Joey Badass? Big L?
Big L, rest in peace. Joey Badass is king. Yeah, he's a legendary guy. That was the song that I got with him recently. My biggest song with him. But Statik really was he basically discovered me. So it's that's how I got into touch with Action. And he even credited me on a couple of the records. But I'm not just like how Scott Storch started with Dre. It's the same way. That's how I look at myself. Or Scott Storch played with the Roots before he really became with Dre as well. So it's it's.
That's what it is.
It's you kind of have to follow those traditions. I'm really, and it's I don't just boxing my. I really like the music, but it's not only what I do, because I do more than just that. So it's I'm definitely highly influenced by Statik as a person, and thankful for all the classic hip hop records that I'm part of, and that's definitely helping for what I essentially want to do. But it's not the only thing that I want to limit by myself to. So.
So you said you're down with a label, obviously.
Yeah. Well, this is my label. Yeah.
So you started the label up.
Yeah. Me, this guy in New Jersey, who I have why I started connected with on the beats and whatnot. He helped out with drums and mixing. And we helped find different artists, out of the 20 artists. So we have, you know, a lot of different people.
You say he's from Jersey?
He's from Jersey,
Okay.
Bayonne.
That's you, right?
Yeah, that's
That's your beat stuff.
yeah, that's BeatStars. Yeah, but I have to upload more onto that one. I'm using more of the SoundCloud than BeatStars.
So,
I love beat stars. I always buy
Yeah, no, for sure. I love the concept. I love the tech. But I mean, it's like it's easier to upload beats on SoundCloud though. So until
I'm gonna get your SoundCloud too.
yeah, for sure. Or just take my Instagram. It's all
Well, we'll definitely promote
Yeah,
all your
for
social
sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Definitely,
saying.
yeah.
Before, at the end, we're gonna tell you to shout all your
for
your
sure. I mean,
And
media
then
out.
down in the description, links will be below.
Yeah, it'll
so.
be below.
yeah, no, for sure. And this is really great. I'm glad I made it out.
Yeah, really, we're glad you made it
Yeah,
too.
for sure.
So
But yeah, it was Joey and Badass and Statik, and them. That's how I was able to get connected with all the major people, 2 Chainz even.
so you did something with 2 Chainz as well.
Yep, man of the hour, and they credited me. So
nice.
I have even more love because it's one thing to be like at the top
Yeah,
and not credit like random musician but it's like they did.
that's pretty awesome.
So it's like, you know, it just shows like they respected.
Yeah, exactly.
respected your
And then
craft.
it's like you have to respect them even more actually because it's like
They respected the craft and the
they
hustle
respect.
that you
Yeah,
got
I mean,
in
yeah,
there.
exactly right for sure. And it's like, you know, if they're gonna respect me, like I mean, obviously I want to, you know,
Yeah, get
show
where
the
you gotta
love
go.
back,
Yeah.
like,
An artist is an artist.
Yeah.
and that's 2
Doesn't matter.
Chainz. Like,
He makes a name for his now.
like no.
Yeah, he changed his name and everything.
Yeah.
He had quite a career as
Yeah.
a musician.
I mean, he didn't get successful until he was 40. After he
Yeah,
was
he
40.
was-
It
Titty
was
Boy.
it was
Titty
that,
Boy.
what you
But he
call
didn't
it?
have the
That
right
song
records,
with
though.
Lil Wayne, didn't he?
That
Yeah.
Player
Yo, he had
Circle
so
song.
many songs.
Yeah, what?
But under the name Titty Boy,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I never.
he was part of
Player Circle.
Ludacris.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, he's down with
Disturbing the Peace.
Disturbing the Peace, yep. I mean, he was
He
putting in
still
his work.
is.
Yeah, no, for sure. of
Oh yeah,
course.
but yo, if you ever see, he sat down there and he was like eating cereal, watching
Yeah.
like cartoons, and he's like, "I'm not gonna go nowhere as Titty Boy. Like I have to be able to, like, you know, mommies, you need to look at my album and be like, you know, like, oh, okay, I'll buy my son a Titty Boy album. Like, no mommy's gonna do.
Yeah.
And that's literally why he changed his name. And look at it, he was right.
I mean,
He
that's
knew-
his name, though. His name is Tawheed. So it's 2
Yeah.
Chainz. I mean, he kept it true to himself.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, you know, when I got to it,
He just knew he had to keep it PG, you know.
But I mean, just the point is like, I mean, it's one thing to like be a successful like celebrity. This other thing is to actually, you know, to work with people who have actually done, to work with random person who's not as equally successful as you are yet, or, you know, and just to respect that. I think that shows more, you know, humility and honesty and just workman and respect.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and
always,
it's like,
I always respect the hustle.
yeah, for sure. I mean, but you know, I mean, it's, you know, there's just that's the nature of the game. It's like, I mean, do you want to? And it's like I could have easily got paid off from Statik instead of being which I did a partnership with him instead of getting just Cal
Getting
just
a
said
lump
this
sum.
recently on an interview. You do kind of work for free in this business. You work for your
You
partnerships
got to, yeah.
We work
because
for your
nothing's
name.
owed, and you have to be able to build
Yo,
with
you're only as
brands.
far as your name goes, and
Yeah.
no one knows your name.
Yeah, and if you're not
Yeah.
building with the right brands, who cares? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
it's like, I
exactly.
mean, it's better. I mean, you have to work for because it's a part. Like, and it's like a startup business. Like, you have to look at songs and artists as startups, and you have to invest in yourself as a startup. Like,
Yeah.
you have to find these guys before they blow up.
Yeah.
That's it's like
Basically.
so. I mean, yeah, I mean that's why. I mean, I knew this going in. Like, I mean, coming from the jazz world, like, who listens to jazz music? Who was even buying jazz CDs in the 90s?
Yeah, right.
Like, I mean,
What is this jazz you're talking about?
it's incredible. It's absolutely
Yeah.
incredible music, but I mean, it's not relatable. And who really cares about song?
I mean, the newest iteration of jazz, like as it stands as jazz, would be what, like smooth jazz, I would say. Or
I mean,
something?
they're different people.
You
There's, I
know?
mean, it's such a diverse kind of music. I mean, there's
Yeah.
there's
But that
smooth
would
jazz.
be the most like modern form of jazz as it stays.
And my friend Chad Lefkowitz Brown, he's a very successful modern saxophonist. He just played
Oh.
the Blue Note with Chris Bada.
Oh, nice.
I mean, they're really
That's in the
incredible.
city area,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
for
yeah,
sure.
Blue Note is like, I mean, I
Pussycat area.
I mean, I got in with those guys. I mean, by 14, I knew who they were. I was also a prodigy musician myself. So I was like, it was part of, you know, going to these like state competitions or like these music jazz festivals and schools and being able to be like rising then. And then, you know, 20 years later, you're now playing gigs with the same guys who are your teachers. Pretty cool. But it's just the point is like, you know, you know, you have to make music. If you're making music that's not relatable, I feel like you're almost wasting your own talent in a sense. I think that's the point. I think it's like, because what music is for the importance of music in society. It's not just about, you know, how well you can play.
Yeah, that's music's the best way to express your soul. I mean, it
society.
really
Touch
is.
somebody's soul.
With the
Yeah.
And society's representation in a sense, like what it means to
Yeah.
be, you know, like
How many people could relate to a song versus a picture versus
yeah,
a
for sure.
movie, so on and so forth.
This movie is very relatable.
And then, yeah, like, but still, like, there's songs that
yeah, for sure.
transcend time versus movies. People struggle to still,
I think it depends.
enjoy.
I'm a big Marvel fan, and especially with this Disney look. I mean, I'm gonna be, you know.
Yeah, but like there's songs like you said 100 years
Yeah.
ago, 100-year-old songs.
Yeah, there's
When's
still-
the last 100-year-old movie you just
Yeah, well, the technology hasn't caught up. You know,
Yeah.
maybe in 100 years we'll be still watching the.
shoot?
Movies that was-
You'll probably be in the movie. You're like, "Oh, I want to be in the Matrix today.
But yeah, I mean but then look at the power of music though. We're still listening to music that came out like 20 years ago. I mean,
Yeah.
it still sounds equally as good 30 years ago.
And still excited about new styles to
Yeah,
come and
for
new
sure.
artists and all
Yeah,
that. It's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like mumble rap, as much as people hate it, it was just a failed attempt of a new iteration of
Era,
rap or
yeah.
something.
yeah, for sure. Dubstep, I feel like I was much more cooler, but I just it didn't last as long.
Yeah, it tied itself out quick.
But I mean, it was such, it's like 2012, like
Yeah.
2013, like, I mean, it's such a, it's interesting to see that like die. I
And
mean,
I
I like,
know-
it's like,
and in Midwest too, it's like
yeah.
it's a little bigger than out here too. Like
Well, it
there's
depends,
still Texas, Colorado,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oklahoma,
No,
like Oklahoma City, like they still got
Yeah,
a
definitely.
decent EDM,
yeah.
dubstep, electro swing
Yeah.
culture.
And house too. I mean, it's
House,
different.
I love
house.
I
I
mean,
love
classic
house,
house.
yeah.
classic house is great. I mean, there's
Classic.
yeah, I mean, it's similar to hip hop. Very. I mean,
Yeah.
they both come from the same.
Yeah,
But it's it's different. It's like hip hop is more the reason why they'll never die because it's cultural. It's part of the culture.
yeah.
The story to tell.
It speaks
It's
to the
part
soul.
of it. It's never gonna die. It's not
Being
a fad.
poor,
It's
coming
not,
from a broken home, and all that.
I'm so relatable. I mean, how
Yeah.
many people are inspired by those stories? Like
I mean,
everybody,
non-musicians, football players
Yeah,
listen to that
of
shit.
course,
before the game.
everybody.
Basketball players,
business
you know?
people. Like I mean, like whatever. It doesn't matter. Lawyers. It doesn't really matter. Like I mean, I think that's the whole entire point. I mean, it's so great to see that Eminem and Dre is gonna be playing the Super Bowl finally.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's fire.
It is.
Yeah,
They had the
fire.
weekend last year. That
It's-
wasn't a bad thing. I mean, it was a start. It was getting
It's-
somewhere.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't love his last
Did
record,
you-
man. I think he's over. I mean, I like some songs. I
Yeah, it's a club thing. I mean, his last songs were kind of sampled a lot.
I
too,
mean, it's not
so.
sampled a lot. I just feel like, I mean, they've already done this already. Like,
Yeah.
why can't? I mean, the guy is at the top of the. I feel like Ed Sheeran's actually pushing the limit a little more.
Who?
Ed Sheeran, the other
Yeah.
huge pop
Yeah.
guy. Like, I mean, but they're not pushing the limit. I mean, Kanye is. I mean, Kanye's. But I mean, even though.
Kanye's, yeah, he's trying to make his own rules.
Yeah, exactly. Which
Build
is,
his
I mean,
own
and
idea.
the spiritual stuff, I think is really great to see him do that. I feel like he should just focus on that, the church instead.
I like what
Find peace,
what you call it, Alexton Prack and the other dude.
I don't know.
Talking about that's Silk Soul Sonic.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Bruno
But that's
Mars,
like.
Bruno Mars and Mark, whatever.
Yeah, but that's
Anderson
throwback
Paak.
records.
Anderson
Anderson
Paak.
Paak. There you
Yeah,
go.
I mean, look, they're so talented. Anderson Paak is himself.
Yeah,
is,
I like
is-
that.
is-
That's
is-
really.
She and
they're
Bruno
bringing
Mars.
back-
I think Bruno Mars is very talented.
Oh, it's super. I mean, he's super talented.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the
Yeah.
records that they were doing a tribute to Marvin Gaye and Tiny
more- yeah,
and
the
Al
whole 70s
Green
groove
and
back,
and
yeah.
all the
with a modern twist
Yeah,
to
with a
the
modern twist
lyrics
to it,
and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's like I mean, and look, I mean, it's great to hear the throwback stuff.
It
but
is a
it's-
homage album.
Yeah.
But it's
thing,
it's an homage album. It's like again, I mean, it's like.
yeah.
You're like you
something.
guys again. You're at the top of the top. Like, can you?
Yeah,
Why
break
not?
the barrier.
Yeah, why not make like I don't know, like something that hasn't been done ever. Like, I mean, maybe throw more like modern funk stuff. Like do a tribute to James Brown instead. I mean, if that's I'll rather
yeah,
hear
there you
that
go.
personally. But I mean, that's
That would be fire.
Yeah,
like-
dope.
I mean, it depends. Or the average or Earth, Wind and Fire.
Ooh.
Like, I mean, they should collaborate. I mean, those guys are still
I'll
alive.
tell you, I want to
Yeah,
like
the Isley
bring back
Brothers
the
is-
ink spot
Like-
style. Get like 6 people.
Yeah.
Have them just harmony in the hook,
Oh.
and then one guy just start talking.
So, okay, start rapping.
Yeah.
Let the beat go, and one guy start.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so many opportunities and
Baby,
options,
let
know.
me
That's,
tell you something.
but yeah, I mean, it just again, it's like I feel like that's why it's like I want to be able to like take all these styles and go to the Broadway because
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I mean, seeing a big band instead of like the Logs play perform with DJ, they perform with the big
Yeah,
band.
and it's just him running around, and you got the band. Oh,
I mean, the same thing.
be
It's
fire.
like, it's like or Nas performing with like a straight up like Frank Sinatra big band, like.
That would be.
I mean,
fire.
Like an orchestra, right?
Yeah, well, or
Orchestra.
20 pairs, like if a big band instead of backing up a singer, they could be or playing another Frank Sinatra song. They could be or another 100-year-old song from the standards. They could be playing the new standards, like what like
Yeah.
That's pretty
with
dope.
DJ
That's really
involved.
Or even like tapping out of American music too,
Right.
and incorporating like
dope. Salsa
you
and all
know,
that.
well, not even salsa, but like French style music.
Yeah,
and
salsa.
All this.
Salsa.
Salsa is one of my favorites, actually.
I do
love
enjoy
salsa.
it.
I love
Classic salsa with like
De Puente.
yeah.
With the
Yeah,
live
and,
band.
what's that? Yeah,
Freddie
Freddie Santiago.
all that. Yeah, no, that's
What was
That
his
you
name?
can listen to all
Yeah,
day.
man. I do a mix of that on my 26th Street. We have
That
the
was like a
salsa
Sunday
guys.
morning.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my
Blood.
favorite records. I have one of my favorite records coming out is the blend between salsa, and one of my favorite records I did with Action was him rapping over on on Miss Fordham Road, where he rapped over someone me playing salsa.
Oh yeah.
Look at you.
I mean, this is all classical music
Yeah.
though.
Yep.
Hey,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Wepa!
I just need the drums.
Yeah, right? The Congos.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
it's one of my favorites stuff, man.
That's right.
And also the culture of salsa. I went out to Puerto Rico and went for a wedding and saw some other and a family out there from cousins and other people, and it's like
You have family out there, you said?
Yeah, in San
Okay.
Juan. Just to see everybody. I went to me and my mother. We went to the local market, the old market, and we saw everybody playing music together.
Yeah.
And that's the culture of and
Putting
it's
everything together.
Puerto Rico, maybe some of San Juan. Maybe it was the time. Maybe it was but
Yeah,
just
it might be just the Caribbean culture in general.
Yeah.
You know? Like
I mean maybe
the warm weather, the
yeah,
sunshine.
yeah. I mean it's
the random hurricanes that blow through.
yeah, no, very devastating.
I
It's
know.
so sad.
Yeah, so they
So
gotta
sad.
look for their bright spots anyway.
Yeah, but just to see that people coming together, it's like
Making that
I feel like
music,
that's
yeah.
what we need more.
That's what New York really was like, man.
Yes.
Like
In
in
the early-
in the 70s,
It's-
70s and 80s is where that
Yeah.
started to
That
trickle
bonfire
down.
and the 55 gallons.
Yeah.
The crack era started getting
No.
out of the community.
Yeah,
for
yep,
real.
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, that was definitely. I mean, the 70s and 80s were definitely. I mean, that was such a colorful time.
Yo,
but it
such
was-
a family era.
yeah,
People,
for sure.
Hey Tony, you know, just yelling.
Yeah.
That's the phone.
That's
you
also-
yell to
yeah,
14 people and you find out where your boy is.
Yeah.
And also, that's the time when all the records, the music during that was made.
Yeah. Oh
70s
yeah.
and
Look
the
at the
70s.
Warriors and
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure,
Man. Like
of
that's
course.
when the DJs were running the city.
That's what.
Now
yeah.
people are like, I hate not 90. I hate this. I hate this. It's like, oh.
You have to respect it.
You have to
It's,
respect it.
it's-
It's
it's
the
a part
foundation
this.
of everything that we know
Yeah.
of today.
Yo,
Yeah,
they
for
literally
sure.
talk to the public, man.
Yeah.
The DJ.
I mean, that's where it came. I mean, that's where Cool came out of. That's
Yeah.
what culture. They. I mean,
Yeah.
before that, that's where hip hop is really.
Yeah. Outside with the
Yeah,
two
a
turntables.
man and a mic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man in the mic and the guy
Man
With the
and a
shots
mic.
and with the breaks instead of having the drummer and. I wish we could go back in time. I think I would go back in time and.
Yo, maybe you just gotta bring it to the future, you know? We
Well,
just
that's
gotta
what-
start throwing
yeah,
more.
for
Well,
sure.
that's what he's
events.
trying to.
I mean,
that's what he's trying to do right
I
now.
mean, but you
Yeah.
know, that's what the urban prophets are about.
Yeah.
That's why we're called that. You know,
Yeah,
we want
for
to
sure.
bring people together.
Yeah,
Bring
for
them
We were
sure.
trying to do
That's
a
what I
punk
was-
hip hop
Yeah,
intertwine
that's-
two cultures. Like,
Yeah, or even
That's what
salsa
I was-
hip-hop.
That's what I was just
Yeah.
thinking. Now we're gonna have a lady come in here and she does
Nice.
soul music. So how do you
Nice.
feel about that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I
it's
mean,
again,
maybe
so
we can get you
foundation.
guys
Yeah,
two
for sure. I'd love
together or
to.
whatever it is.
I'd love to. Yeah, for sure. Always.
That'd
Yeah.
be- I
for
think
sure.
that would be
Yeah.
cool. A little piano and some soul music.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that would be
Definitely.
great.
all right,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, for sure.
You want to give us
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
all your
for
social
sure.
media,
Yeah,
say it
yeah,
out.
man. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I found them all.
Well, let him
Well,
say
yeah,
it.
he
So
can say what
everybody
he
else
wants.
could
We'll
find
post
it
it
as
in the
well.
bottom.
Nice. A lot of people came
He
through.
could play us out, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, for sure. Or, I mean, I can play one of the. if you guys
Yeah,
wanna
you
pull
could,
up-
yeah, you could put your own background
Yeah.
music.
Yeah,
on
for sure.
your
If you
own
want to,
outro.
pull up on any of the records, can you?
No, I
play
meant
it?
on the piano.
You don't wanna.
You're like, all right, well, thank you for joining us today.
I mean, maybe you guys know this.
That sounds familiar. Sounds like definitely jazz, right?
This is the Joey record.
The Joey Badass.
Which one?
Legendary.
Legendary, the one you did, obviously, right?
I'm so legendary. Yeah, that's the fire one. You can't hate me.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to play one of the records, but yeah. I mean, play something else.
So we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah.
But
So go ahead, just.
But yeah, anyways, yeah. Man, you can follow me on my socials as Cas Keyboard Producer. Yeah.
Instagram,
Instagram,
all the things.
everything. My website's Cas Keyboard Producer.
On all social media.
All social medias, yeah, man.
We'll post on the bottom. We'll
yeah,
put
no
his
doubt.
SoundCloud,
For sure.
his Beatstar,
Yeah,
everything. He was a great interview. I enjoyed
really,
our time.
Yeah,
Really
man.
nice guest,
yeah, for sure.
Coming from Big Al himself, King David, Mr. Bitches, and Bryce Dillinger, we would like to thank you for coming
for
on
sure.
our show
Much,
today,
very much
Cas.
appreciate it.
Giving us your time,
For
your
sure.
valuable time with
Definitely,
everything
yeah.
you're doing. And,
For sure.
Yeah, thank
No,
you.
Yeah, man, for sure. Thanks for having me. Yeah, and people enjoyed it on online as well.
Yeah. All right,
On
guys.
Instagram. All right.
Really good.
Tune in next week. We'll have more guests. Bye.